All right, good afternoon, person at the jail. Could you please state your name for the record?
Cody Petrie.
This is case number 26139SM, the people of the state of Michigan versus Cody Petrie. We're here for an arraignment. Mr. Petrie, did you have the opportunity to meet with somebody from the defender's office today regarding this new case?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have a complaint that alleges that on or about March 18th, 2026, in Herring Township of Wexford County, it is alleged in count number 1 that you committed the offense of retail fraud second degree while at Walmart. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 1 year in jail and or a fine of $2,000 or 3 times the value of the property taken, assuming the prosecutor can meet certain requirements. Do you understand those charges and the potential penalties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did they give you another advice of rights form to fill out at the jail for this file?
I think so. I don't know, but I don't know.
All right, so I'm going to go through your rights with you just to make sure we've covered them on the record. If you require accommodations to use the court because of disabilities, or if you require a foreign language interpreter to help you fully participate in court proceedings, please contact the court immediately to make arrangements. You've been brought to court on a misdemeanor charge and you have the following basic rights: to plead guilty or not guilty, or to stand mute. If you stand mute, a plea of not guilty will be entered and you may plead no contest with the permission of the court. To have a trial by jury and to have the assistance of an attorney. You have the right to an attorney appointed at public expense if you are indigent, which means without money to hire an attorney, and if the offense charge requires a minimum jail sentence or the court determines that it might sentence you to jail, the appointing authority will decide if you are indigent and appoint counsel if you are eligible. You may have to repay the expense of an appointed attorney. You may contest your ability to pay the ordered fees if the court attempts to collect any costs for an attorney, and the court must determine your ability to pay at that time. If you have a trial, you have the following rights: to call witnesses to speak for you at trial. You may get an order signed by the court to require witnesses to come to court, to see, hear, and question all witnesses called against you, to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. If you choose to remain silent, that silence cannot be used against you. Also, the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If you plead guilty or no contest and your plea is accepted, you will not have a trial of any kind and you'll be giving up those trial rights that we just went through. You also have the right to be released on bond, and we'll get to that in a moment. If you are now on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty or no contest, or a finding of guilt is made by a judge or jury, it may result in a violation of your probation or parole. You can be sentenced to jail and fines plus costs. The court will tell you on the record the name of the offense, the mandatory minimum jail sentence, if any, and the maximum possible penalty for the offense, including jail, fines, or both. Fines, costs, and other financial obligations imposed by the court must be paid at the time of the assessment, except when the court allows otherwise for good cause shown. If you are not able to pay due to financial hardship, please contact the court immediately to request a payment alternative. An appeal to the circuit court may be taken within 21 days from the date of sentence or is permitted pursuant to court rule. If the sentence includes incarceration, and if you wish to file an appeal but are financially unable to retain a lawyer to assist you, the court will appoint a lawyer to represent you on appeal if the request for the lawyer is made within 14 days from sentencing. Federal law and or state law may prohibit you from possessing or purchasing ammunition or a firearm, including a rifle, pistol, or revolver. If you are convicted of a misdemeanor crime of violence and you are a current or former spouse, parent, or guardian of the victim, you share a child in common with the victim. You are or were cohabitating with the victim as a spouse, parent, or guardian, or you are or were involved with the victim in another similar relationship. Mr. Petrie, do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do have the right to be represented by an attorney, and if you cannot afford one will be appointed to represent you, but you may be required to repay a portion of that expense. Today, do you plan to hire an attorney, represent yourself, or request the appointment of an attorney?
I need a public defender. I need one assigned to me.
Court will make a referral to the public defender's office for the appointment of the attorney. We'll enter the not guilty plea and we'll set the matter for a pretrial. That's where your attorney and the prosecutor will get together to see if there's a way to resolve the case short of going to trial. You also have the right to have a bond set. Your bond is based upon the probability of you appearing at future court appointments, the seriousness of the offense charged, and the threat that you pose to the public. There was not a praxis done in this matter. Ms. Pirvento, any comment regarding bond?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that Mr. Petrie is being held on another file that has a hearing scheduled for Monday. In light of that, we would just respectfully request a low cash bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence.
Your Honor, as you know, this is the defendant's second retail fraud in less than a year, I think it was less than 6 months within each other. So I do think a monetary bond would be appropriate. If I recall correctly, I think Community Corrections had a difficult time staying in contact with him on his last file. So I do think a monetary bond would be appropriate, and I would also ask for a no contact order with Walmart.
Thank you. Somebody refresh my memory. Mr. Petrie is sitting pre-trial on a matter, correct?
I think he was recently sentenced last week.
He was sentenced by us.
He was sentenced last week.
And then it says he's hearing on Mondays for a probation violation.
Here or with
Upstairs.
circuit? With circuit. All right.
But he
So-
was sentenced.
Is he on a remand then with circuit?
The file that we have is for a probation violation, and we have a remand. And when I was looking at Mr. Hartel's file, but Mr. Hartel is on that case.
Okay,
We sentenced him on the 8th for 15 days with 2 days credit.
so he's still under sentence then.
Well, with good time, probably supposed to be.
All right, the court is going to set a monetary bond. I'm going to do a $500, 10% bond. Mr. Petrie, you are to appear as ordered, keep your contact information current, not leave the state without permission, and commit no new crimes. Also, you're not to have any contact with Walmart. That includes the main store, being on the property, or at the gas station. All right? Anything else for the record, counsel?
No, thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Petrie. Thank you, jail.
Thank you.
This courtroom proceeding involves Cody Petrie, a repeat offender whose legal situation is complicated by multiple overlapping cases. The primary matter is a new arraignment for second-degree retail fraud at a Walmart, which the prosecution noted is his 22nd retail fraud incident in less than a year. Beyond this new charge, the hearing revealed that Petrie is currently facing a probation violation with an upcoming hearing and was sentenced on a separate criminal matter just 1 week prior. Because of his extensive recent history and difficulties staying in contact with corrections officers, the judge set a monetary bond and issued a strict order for Petrie to have no contact with any Walmart property or gas station.